And then we shall be muted.
Oh, I started. Thanks for joining. Anyone who's on, we'll start in a few minutes. Let people join on. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining. We'll give folks a couple minutes to hop on and then we'll kick it off. Jen, we were about to have to hear from you singing based on Irish's question.
I currently have "Girl, Put Your Records On" stuck in my head. If I had a good voice, I would.
I like that song. If you just joined, thank you so much for joining. We're waiting for a few more minutes just to let more folks come on and then we'll kick it off. We'll probably start in a minute. We've got quite a few participants joining, so we'll kick it off in a minute. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Well, I want to thank everyone so much for joining today. I know taking time out of this week, especially with getting ready for pass sales and the fact that we're mid-season, really does take sacrifice to take an hour to join these types of calls. So thank you for joining. I hope that the topics we covered today provide value to each person attending as you prepare for pass sales. It is a really fun opportunity in the ski industry, the fact that we're already planning for next year's season even before this one is over. And today we're going to be covering many features available to you in Aspenware Commerce that can be useful as you plan for and configure your passes. A lot of what we're covering and sharing cool stories and the cool ideas used by resorts around the world that hopefully can help inform everyone here. I'm so thankful to our group of panelists today. We've got a fantastic crew. Jen Dixon, who's featured in the far left, is our customer service manager. Yolanda Foos, senior account executive. Dan Larson, VP of product. And then I'll be sharing Jenny Benani, VP of service. A few housekeeping items before we get started. This is being recorded. We have a lot of time today for question and answers. So if you have questions, don't save them up till the end, ask them throughout. Type your questions. There's a Q&A section of the webinar. So type your questions in there rather than the chat. That way they can be answered by our great moderator, Danny Carmessel. And we'll also have time at the end of each presenter session to answer questions, and then time again at the end for Q&A. To kick it off, Jen Dixon is going to be sharing about features that we've had in our software for a while. However, I'm excited about this because it's kind of a fresh look at some of these basics as we think of them and how resorts have taken creative approaches with common features for their pass sales. So with that, I'll hand it over to Jen.
Thanks, Jenny. So to kick off our basics, I'm going to dive in with some of our add-ons. So add-ons are valuable, as most of you know, as it allows you to sell additional products alongside the core product. This is great for season passes, as add-ons can be set up to be cheaper, only available if a guest packages it with like a bigger ticket item, such as a pass, versus if they were to purchase it alone. Another thought is offering a pass as an add-on product at a lower rate when purchasing other passes or items. For example, the resort can then allow a pass holder to upgrade their pass. Add-ons can even be free of charge or used as an opportunity to better the community with a donation product, giving the guest the capability to pay an additional fee and the resort to then forward that to a nonprofit. We can see some of this in an example from Copper. In their 2021 Copper season pass, this example shows how the upgrade experience has a range of benefits. From upgrading your pass to Woodward Barn access, as well as passes for your kids. Here you will see that we have the selection to not upgrade your pass under the upgrade your experience. Then, if you go to the next slide, if you select the Premier Pass adult option, you'll be able to see the option for the Kids Ski Free Pass. This is an add-on that is set up to be conditional to only show when the Premier Pass was selected as an upgrade. If I then select the Kids Ski Free Pass, we can see there's another conditional add-on that appears, which gives me the ability to upgrade my kids' pass to then include the Woodward Barn Pass for an additional fee. Our next basic is around renewals. So renewals provide the chance to reward loyal pass and pack holders. You can provide special pass deals or added incentives for those who were previous pass purchasers to purchase for the upcoming season. Your previous season pass holders will have the capability to buy next season's passes at a discounted rate and or the ability to upgrade their pass experience. And upon doing so, this will hold their identity to their pass, which is an added security via our assignment lock to prevent the transferring of pass discounts. You can also provide incentives for those who renew. So besides a cheaper pass rate, some resorts also offer renewal products outside of the season passes, such as discounted lessons or programs. In our first example, we can see the renewal page showing the guest multiple pass offerings and the ability for them to upgrade should they so desire. In this last example, we're able to see the renewal setup for a multi-pass pack product. And you can see where we already have added one to my cart, the picture on the right. And then we can see I can still add the other one as well. So I can add multiple products to my cart. And then to wrap up our basics, we're going to cover our new waiver functionality and enhancements. So with this past season requiring the use of waiver functionality, unlike any other season, Aspenware developed a range of waiver enhancements to support further guest liability, such as multiple options as to how the guest signs and agrees to legal terms, the ability to customize the look and feel of the layout, a deeper integration with One Risk and Seriousware. And so some of these examples of how waivers can be best utilized for this upcoming season sales include things such as consolidated waivers, which bundles all the waivers for a household into one place for a signature. This expedites the process for the guest. This can also be seen during the personalization step, where any products that have the use of a waiver will show in a consolidated view. So then the logged in user will be able to sign all waivers for all members in the cart at one time. Then you obviously have things such as resort charge. We have signature block panel, wet signature, which wet signature is making it more deliberate and making the guests walk through the waiver steps and ensure they are aware of the act of signing the waiver versus just stumbling upon and checking a box. We also have the OneRest integration, and then as well as full HTML stored within RTP1, which allows better capturing of the actions that the guests are taking. In this chart, we can see two columns. So this breaks out some of the waiver functionality of native waivers and OneRest waivers. With native waivers, we're able to integrate with the Aspenware arrival or resort tools, allow for various forms of signing in the consolidation we previously discussed. For OneRest, we can store them in RTP1 or SeriousWare. We can require guests to initial paragraphs and capture the waiver into OneRest platforms and resort databases. And then last but not least, here you can see the mobile view of our enhanced signature options, where you can then enable all or some, such as the checkbox, the wet signature, and or the type to sign. You're on mute, Jenny.
Thanks, Jen. There are just so many options with basic features that we've had on our platform for a while. So thanks for walking us through that. I'm also really excited about the waiver functionality that's available going into this year's season pass sales. There's just so much more flexibility and options. So I think that'll be really great. Are there any questions from the audience, Danny?
Yeah, we do have a couple of questions. Jen, the first question is around season passes and actually specifically looking at the renewal flow. The question is, can we build add-ons into the renewal flow?
Yes. So with the renewal flow, a lot of the renewals, we are limited to having one attribute on it. So a lot of resorts actually put add-ons on there to kind of act as other attributes and then to allow that package to kind of build upon itself.
Great. I think we have a second question. This one might be able to be answered by Jenny. Separate from add-ons for existing products, what do we have in the roadmap for related products or cross-sell functionality?
That's a great question. It's kind of been the topic of a lot of our conversations lately. So more to come. But in terms of the near-term roadmap, one of the things we're talking about, we are releasing soon, not in this next release, but probably in a release after, is the ability to group attributes and display them more intuitively, more customizably. So you can kind of bundle attributes together and give them a title and have them display where you would like on the page, similar to the upgrade your experience section, but more customizable by you. So that's exciting, and we'll definitely add and enhance the flow of add-ons and cross-sell, but expect more to come hopefully as well on that topic.
Awesome. I think that's it for questions for now.
Great. Well, next, Yolanda is going to cover some more advanced features of Aspenware Commerce that can make the sale of complicated products an easy process for your guests. This will also ensure that the fulfillment and in-resort experience is smooth for your guests and staff.
Thanks, Jenny. So as we know, skiing is not a cheap sport, so offering special products and pricing for families is one way to encourage young families to start and keep skiing or riding. So family packages and products can get really complicated, and historically was something that could not be sold online because of the different age combinations and options. We support many different options for selling these type of packages online and ensure that capturing waivers for each family member is considered, as well as how the product is represented in RTP or SeriousWare for fulfillment. Our first option is a family pass product. In this example, the family pass is for 2 adults and 1 or 2 kids, and it's one price. Aspenware Commerce can accommodate different numbers of family members and their different ages. You can decide if the family pass is one price or if the price can be varied based on the combination of family members and their ages. So in this example, the guest defines how many kids they want to add and specifies their ages. However, the price is fixed. In the point of sale system, a product would be sold for each of those 4 family members. In my second example, this is a family discount. Because not all families are 2 adults and 2 children, in this example, a family discount is offered instead of a pass. A 10% discount off normal pricing is offered. And when your family is 4 or more people, additional family members can get a pass for only $100. That's a great deal. Here you will see a price of $1,918 for 1 adult and 3 dependents, where those 3 dependents is 1 youth, 1 child, and 1 tot. When I change the number of adults to 2 and update the ages of the children, the price becomes $3,412. So this example allows you to offer different pricing combinations based on the makeup of your family. Once the product is added to the cart and you check out, guests are led through assigning a family member to each pass and can complete online waivers for each person. When the transaction is complete, each family member will have a season's pass product associated with them in the point of sale and is all set up to go skiing or riding, especially if they already have their media. This last example is for a kids ski free promotion, and Jen referenced this earlier, but this is basically a promotion applied to a regular season's pass product. When you select an adult product, there is an option to then add a child pass for no extra cost. This type of promotion can be added to any product. You can do kids rent free, kids bike free, or add a kids free lesson. Once again, when the kid free option is selected, 2 products will be sold in the point of sale, 1 for the adult and 1 for the child. These are just 3 examples of family product setups. So talk to your Aspenware rep about your unique products and possible setups, or ask a question in the chat now. The next feature I'm going to talk about is vouchers. So many resorts offer perks with their season's passes, things such as free or discounted tickets for family and friends, discounted rentals or lessons, and even resort credits. For resorts that use RTP, often these offers are set up using vouchers. When a pass product is set up, it may have many different components for all these different offers, and these components can be associated with a voucher to the pass holder, that is associated with a pass holder. These vouchers can be redeemed for the special offer. In the past, the redemption of these vouchers had to be over the phone or in person at the resort. However, in the fall, Aspenware released our voucher module. So how it works. Firstly, you need to configure your products in RTP with these components that create the perk vouchers when sold. The guest purchased their pass and the relevant vouchers are associated with the guest in RTP. Aspenware Commerce looks at the customer profile in RTP and sees that the guest has active vouchers. We then display those active vouchers in the voucher section of My Account, as you can see here. There are 2 types of vouchers currently. Vouchers that are associated with a product or discount. These are known in RTP terms as a product discount or a product discount voucher, and vouchers that can be used as payment. We refer to those as payment value vouchers. Payment value vouchers will be displayed in the Other Vouchers tab here. In this example, the product vouchers are shown on the My Product Vouchers tab. You can label these tabs however you wish. For the product and product discount vouchers, you have the choice of viewing or printing the voucher right from My Account. You can also email it to a friend or redeem the voucher right away by hitting this Redeem Voucher button. If I view or print the voucher number and what it's valid for based on the setup in RTP will be displayed. I can then take that voucher number on that printout and enter it into our new voucher banner on the store, as you can see here. You can choose to display the banner on the store all the time if you want, or you can have more of a secret voucher redemption URL that you send guests to for redemption so that you don't have the banner there all the time. Once you enter the voucher number, you'll hopefully get a successful response. However, if the voucher number is not found or inactive, you'll get the error message that you can see in the bottom there. When you have a valid voucher, you can click Redeem and you'll be taken to a product display page for the product that the voucher is set up for. If you choose to email the voucher to a friend, the email will contain a redemption link that your friend will click on that link and it will take you straight to this page for redemption. The same will happen if you clicked that redeem voucher button from my account. So it's super slick process there. You just click on it and it takes you right to where you need to go. The example we're looking at here is a voucher that's set up for a buddy pass. So we used a product voucher that was set up for $0. So this is where you can get a free comp ticket for a friend. You can also configure a product voucher that's at the window price, but also has a discount associated with it. So it's a product discount voucher. And maybe that discount is your 20% off for your buddy. And that would show here as like your window rate of $150 and then a 20% discount applied. From here, the guest can select any options that are configured on the product in RTP and Aspenware. They can select add-ons and then proceed through the checkout. If they already have a media, they can then reload their media or collect their ticket from a pickup box if you have them, totally avoiding the ticket window. This functionality means less reasons for guests to have to visit the ticket window and has many different uses. If your resort is running RTP as the point of sale, Aspenware has many different options to help you fence and validate purchases. So most of these will require some professional services engagement to get everything set up. But here are some of the very cool special things that we can help you with. Our first one is a hidden category. So imagine you have a special product that you don't want available to everybody. It's only hidden for a special group of people. With Aspenware Commerce, you can create a hidden category that's not available on your store, and it can only be accessed if you have that exact URL. And this is available for both Seriousware and RTP. Sure, this link could go viral and then all of a sudden everyone has that URL, so it's not hidden anymore. That's when you partner it with customer roles, which is an RTP feature. We can help you assign a customer role to a guest that you want to fence a product to. So maybe you have a product that's only available to your super loyal pass holders who've had a pass with you for over 20 years. We can help assign a 20+ customer role to these guests in RTP. We can then make sure that only guests with this customer role in RTP can see this product when they log into the site. Let's take it a step further and fence it even more. Say your loyal 20+ pass holder is logged in and has many family members who have not been that loyal, and this offer is not eligible to them. We can then limit who can be assigned to this product and ensure that only that loyal pass holder gets the deal. This brings me to the third option. So RTP has the concept of validated prompts. So it's a product prompt that you can write a custom stored procedure to work in conjunction with. Aspenware works with this functionality. This allows us to add a prompt to a product that requires the guest to enter something we can validate against. Usually it's a pass number, but we can also validate against the customer who's assigned to the product. When the pass number is entered, custom logic is processed to check somewhere, usually something in RTP or a table that's created, and this pass number is valid, that this pass number is valid for the product. If the guest is eligible, the transaction can proceed. If not, the guest will get an error message and can't purchase the product. One use for this type of validation is for products like a 6-pack of transferable tickets. So say you offer a 6-pack and I buy that 6-pass pass, but I can give my tickets to my family and friends. So for each day your family wants to use one of these days, you need to book a 6-pack redemption product online. So with this product, you'd have to enter the pass number from the original purchase that I was assigned, and we can assure that only 6 of these tickets are redeemed. Typically, this type of redemption would require a visit to the ticket window, but this can be accomplished online with Aspenware Commerce, either through validated prompts or our new voucher module, as just discussed before. Aspenware Commerce has so much flexibility for special product offerings, fencing, validation, and fulfillment of crazy products. We have lots of different deals. This was really just the tip of the iceberg. So if you have special products or you need to restrict or fence them, contact us to talk through your options.
Thanks, Yolanda. How resorts come up with creative offerings around their family passes always amazes me. I think keeping family skiing is just so key to help keeping the sport thriving over time, and I love to see these creative ideas. Also, the voucher redemption flow has been such a huge success this year for resorts that have used it. It was one of those features we launched, and before I even knew resorts were going out with it, I saw it popping up all over the place. So, you know, something has benefit then. And I think it's been helpful for shortening lines at the resort and just making a smooth guest experience online. Danny, do we have any questions for Yo?
Yes, we do. We've got a few out there. The first one here, apart from pass holder perks, are other resorts using new voucher redemption for any other products or offers?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think there's a ton of uses for this. So pretty much anything that you're currently using vouchers for in RTP, you can really redeem them online. So things like comps and trades, a ton of resorts use their voucher module for comps and trades. So that can be used online, special discounts and promotions, and maybe things like a chamber pass. Like, I know that a lot of resorts have a special pricing for their pass holders that are local or are members of the Chamber of Commerce, and usually you have to qualify for that. So one way to accomplish that would be the people who have qualified for that you could send them a voucher and then they could redeem that voucher online. Other ideas are with third parties. So typically resorts who sell tickets through Costco or REI, for example, they're purchasing the actual product, and then they would just go direct the ticket and then go direct to their lift. But with this year, a lot of resorts required reservations for lift tickets. So that concept didn't really work anymore if you got an any day ticket and you don't know who's going to turn up. So vouchers was a way to deal with that, where you actually give the guest a voucher and then they go online to redeem it at $0 because they've already paid for it with Costco. So there's a ton. The other one I didn't really touch on very much was the payment value voucher. So you can also offer a resort credit for your guests, and then they can use that in the checkout flow. If they put that voucher number in the checkout flow, then say it was valid for $100. We looked to RTP to see that that was valid for $100, and you can apply that to your cart to pay for it. Any others, Danny? I think you're on mute.
I am on mute. We do have one more question out there. Can resorts who use customer roles and hidden categories, or can resorts use customer roles and hidden categories to fence off products that are in testing and not ready to be guest facing?
Good question. I don't see why not. Jenny?
Yeah, that's actually a very common use case of customer roles. They'll create an administrative role and put those products so that all the admins can easily access products in that category and then publish them. It's just making sure you remember to remove the customer role fencing on your product. But yeah, that's a great use of customer roles.
And that will allow, like, in case a guest somehow stumbles upon the hidden category, they won't be able to buy the product until you're ready to put it out there because it's assigned to a specific customer role.
Any other questions?
That's it for now.
Awesome. All right, well, next Dan is going to kick it off and he'll be discussing different ways to pay for passes. So often paying for passes all up front can be very costly. So what are 3 different ways that Aspenware Commerce makes flexible payment options a possibility?
Yeah, thanks, Jenny. Well, today more than ever, guests are coming to a mountain destination where they want to engage in outdoor activities that make life fun for family and friends. Now, this is true whether they want a weekend away or a trip of a lifetime. A great online customer experience should make paying for these at the best price easy and convenient. In many ways, this has become more complicated in a world where we don't always know what to expect when we travel somewhere. This could introduce a barrier for people who want to have fun but may face some unknowns. Flexible payment options on Aspenware Commerce create a variety of ways for guests to pay for products without taking the risk of upfront payment. Now, often people are on the fence about purchases, but they know the best prices are offered early. Offering payments over time can reduce the barrier that guests might feel while still allowing them to get the best pricing. Families and individuals are also looking for ways to plan their spending to make smart financial decisions. Breaking things up into expected regular payments can also be a way to budget for activities or plan a vacation and make sure you plan ahead to make sure they happen. Resorts also have an interest in having guests make commitments to plan for a season or for activities. Some of these payment options also ensure the resort gets paid upfront and on time. So let's compare these. Aspenware Commerce offers 3 primary ways to spread payments out over time. Last year, we introduced Aspenware payment plans, which can be used to set up product pricing and payments over time with a ton of flexibility. Payment plans can be set up in a variety of ways with pricing that changes over time. Payments are based on the purchase date and can have varied payment amounts and payment schedules based on when the guest is buying. Payments are simplified for billing by grouping orders and any payments from the same day for that customer into a single charge, which can dramatically reduce payment rejections from credit card companies. Subscriptions offer a unique payment model for the industry and for customers who want an ongoing monthly payment to participate in activities. Subscriptions offer a fixed monthly payment that continues as long as the customers have an active product. Subscription administrators can pause or cancel subscriptions as needed, and customers can manage the payment method when they have a change. Finally, next month, Aspenware is introducing a new feature, an integration with Affirm Payments. This external service offers a connection to your store to Affirm payment processing as a short-term loan. This means resorts get paid immediately, while customers have the flexibility of making payments. For Affirm, resorts pre-arrange payment options and schedules so that things are made easy for customers during purchase. Customers can also finance their entire cart without specific product setup. Now, payment plans don't just apply to a base product. Every selected component is taken into account. This is a first in the ski industry. In the past, if someone selected an upgrade to their package, the amount for the upgrade would have to be paid up front. In the case of Aspenware payment plans, you can factor in the cost of every selected component into the payment amount. Multiple payments across products and even orders for the same day are grouped into a single charge. The importance of this cannot be overstated. In the past, up to 50% of payments might have failed due to rejections by credit card companies. This often happens when a credit card processor sees multiple charges coming on the same day for the same amount. Now, last year, one of our resorts here in Colorado achieved a 98% success rate on payment processing due specifically to how Aspenware Commerce handles these grouped payments. If there is a failure, customers are notified via email and can go into their My Account section to view the failure and correct the payment method, triggering another charge attempt. This happens without intervention by support staff and is completely self-serve by the customer. Resorts are also free to get creative about how to package and present products using payment plans. This resort, pictured here, allows customers to view a season pass like a subscription, making regular payments during the course of an extended season. It's the flexibility of our attribute-based product configuration, along with attribute combinations and add-ons that make this possible. This kind of thinking helps put the guest in a different mindset. They perceive the value of the products they purchased year-round when they think of it as a monthly charge, often as a reduced price. So why not think of yourself as a resort member rather than a pass holder? It's more exclusive. We also offer subscriptions, which take payment plans a step further to make access to activities on a year-round basis a long-term relationship. As destinations in the industry make a move toward boosting year-round access, it makes sense that guests will want to participate all year long. To make that possible, our subscription products charge customers a lower monthly fee for as long as they participate. In addition, destinations can give members exclusive access to products and activities that can either be bundled into their monthly fee or offered at an additional price. Resorts can pause memberships or can cancel as needed, and customers can manage their membership payment in My Account. As I mentioned before, we have a new feature for Affirm payments, and Affirm creates a whole new model for flexible payments on products by taking it beyond a particular product and expanding it to the whole store. This is a new offering from Aspenware in March, offered in partnership with Affirm. When resorts create a relationship with Affirm, we provide the capability for any product in the store to be offered using payments. This can be set on individual products, but we really want to have our resort partners think of this as more than just an alternative for payment plans on season passes. Customers can do more than just finance one product. They can finance their whole ski trip. The flexible payment plan applies to everything in their cart. Now, when the customer thinks of their entire cart as a payment plan, it opens up new possibilities. Customers will see specialized messaging in the cart appear when all products in the cart qualify for Affirm, which is configured during product setup. The choice is up to you on what to offer. The payment amount listed is updated as new items are added to the cart. When the customers see the purchase as a low monthly payment, this has a potential to significantly increase average order value. So think of this, the customer is adding a rental for an upcoming winter vacation with the family. And when they look at the fact that adding an upgrade to the performance ski package is only $4 more per month, why not do that?
You bring up such good points. I'm really excited about offering Affirm for this next release in March. I just see payment financing options like this popping up all over the place when I shop online, so it's exciting to be able to offer that in Aspenware. On payment plans, we've also had huge adoption last year, and the resorts that did take up Aspenware payment plans saw a strikingly better number of products being paid in full. So we're definitely advocating for Aspenware payment plans, but we do continue to support RTP payment plans as well, if that's an option to you. Before we move on, Danny, any questions from the group?
Indeed, there are. This one, Dan, is around Affirm configuration. Should all products be added for Affirm support? And what is a product that wouldn't be appropriate for Affirm, and how would you make that change in e-com?
Yeah, that's a good question. We do advise that you think of Affirm a little bit differently, and that resorts make every product available through Affirm, but you can disable Affirm by product or even by attribute combination. And there are a few products that aren't actually supported by Affirm, and one example would be gift cards.
Awesome. I think that's it for now in terms of questions.
Awesome. So next, I'm going to cover capacity features of Aspenware Commerce that can make the sale of limited products easy for your resort staff to manage. And then I'm also going to cover creative ideas around how to offer limited experiences with season passes using Aspenware's reservation module. So some seasonal products have limited availability. Historically, seasonal programs, lockers, and parking sales have needed to have capped capacity. However, last year we saw some resorts also capping regular season pass sales due to capacity restrictions that they had to restrict these, otherwise they would have needed to enforce a reservation system for pass holders. So while I hope we move away from that sort of model of needing to restrict pass holders, often limiting capacity on seasonal products is still needed even going forward. So limiting capacity on these can create more complexity to selling these products for resort admins. And so I'm going to talk about how we can relieve that stress and complexity from resort admins. We use a feature called hidden inventory to help relieve this complexity for your resort staff. Inventory can be added to seasonal products so that the second they're sold out, they're no longer available for online purchase. This configuration is called hidden inventory or behind the scenes inventory. When inventory is added to a seasonal product, there's no visible change in the UI as you can see on this product. It will just look like a regular season product. However, when it's sold out, guests can't add any more than the available quantity to cart, just like a regular inventory product on a lesson. Because inventory does require date selection in both the point of sale and Aspenware Commerce, these are actually set up to use a behind the scenes date. And it has a hidden date where the inventory is loaded to a single date, typically the first day of the season. When configured properly with hidden inventory, inventory is checked behind the scenes, and before allowing add to cart, it's checked. And as you can see in this example, an error message will pop up at the bottom of the product detail page when a variant is sold out. When inventory limits for the adult variant are met, as in this example, it can't be added to cart. However, as you can see, there's an adult, child, and senior option. And so child and senior can continue to be added to cart even beyond when adult is sold out. While the inventory limit will prevent add to cart, the Aspenware Commerce product has a lot of flexibility and configuration. So an admin can improve the user experience of shopping for passes when one of the variants is sold out by updating the attribute for the sold out product to include sold out in the title. They can also reorder the attribute so that the available options are listed first and defaulted. One thing you might be wondering is why use behind the scenes inventory when I can just unpublish products? So you do have the option to unpublish products, and that's often a great option. But when you have attributed products where in this example, you have multiple variants where some may still be available, but others are sold out, you'll need a way to restrict sales of some of the options while still allowing others. Second, it's a lot of pressure on a resort admin to have to keep up with and monitor sales very closely. So this takes some of that pressure off of them, knowing that the product will become unavailable as soon as it's unavailable in the point of sale. And finally, during high volume periods, such as past deadlines, it may be impossible to unpublish a product as quickly as they sell out, especially when inventory limits are tight. So this can lead to overselling and awkward calls with the guests if you don't have it set up to automatically disable. We've seen behind the scenes inventory configuration really work for a couple product types. Those are season-long ski school programs, camps and lessons. Also, parking passes can use this feature, and season-long locker sales. Another way to use this could be, season passes, assuming we have capacity restrictions in the future, which we don't really know, and then employee limited offers on seasonal products. Jackson Hole actually had used this functionality. They had a limited number of employee-only seasonal products available to them, and they wanted to run a campaign to release these products to their employees. They knew that the demand on these was going to be really high, and that would make unpublishing these products fast enough pretty much impossible. So they set up hidden inventory so that variants got unpublished as they sold out. They also used Queue-It to create a pre-queue, so that anyone who came to the site before the sale was let in equally. So it created fairness among the employees. And it actually worked really well for them using the combination of Queue-It and hidden inventory. So kind of a creative use of that functionality. The next feature I'm going to talk about is the reservation module. Many resorts want to or offer limited experience to their season pass holders, such as a few days of first tracks, beginner passes that include a pass and a pack of lessons, or maybe a free ticket to a partner resort. In the past, the redemption of these perks had to be done at the ticket window, over the phone, or perhaps you haven't even been able to think about options like this because the complexity of redeeming that perk was too much. In the fall, Aspenware released our reservation module. This was originally built to work as a pass holder reservation system for the 2021 season. However, it has a lot of other interesting applications that we've seen kind of surface since releasing it. With the reservation module, these perks can be redeemed, gated, and managed online with minimal staff overhead for resorts using RTP as a point of sale. So this is how it works. These products can be hidden to the general public. This uses customer roles so that the customer must log in and be eligible based on purchasing a certain product before they can even see these reservation products show up. This is done using the features that Yolanda discussed earlier, customer roles, validated procedures. Aspenware checks the customer profile in RTP to both confirm that they have purchased the original pass, and it checks for other reservation product bookings. Only eligible guests are able to be assigned to these fenced products and add to cart. Often, reservation products are also set up with inventory pools to have capacity limitations. Additionally, reservation limits per guest can be enforced, and they're also configurable. Reservation products can be set up to allow only a fixed number of reservations, such as, say, you just have 2 redemptions all season that you allow, or they can allow a rolling number of days. So say you have 2 days that they can have on the books at a time, and as soon as they use one or one rolls off, they can book another one. You can also set up a reservation product to be fixed and others to be rolling. So some of your perks, if you want them to be fixed, they can be set up to be fixed. And if other perks you want to be rolling, they can be set up to be rolling, but it's not a store-wide configuration. The reservation module is displayed on the product detail page as soon as you select a guest, as you can see in the screenshot. This module shows prior reservation days and also reservations in cart. If they've reserved all of their allowed days, they cannot add additional days to cart. If they have more days allowed to reserve, they can add to cart until they reach their limit. It does take, in this example, it takes into account previously booked reservations and reservations in the cart when it calculates that limit. If the product is using a rolling system and they have used all of their days, they will be prevented from adding to cart until one of their days is used or rolls off. If they cancel, if they want to reserve another day and they don't want to wait for it to roll off, they can always cancel one of their reservation days, and that will also free up a day. Typically, these products are free, so they're $0 products, and that it allows them to have a very simple checkout process. So there's no payment step. It's just add to cart and you're good. Check out real quick, you're good to go. They can be paid, but they wouldn't be able to have that cancellation function with that, but it can be like a cheaper option as well. In this example, Jackson Hole uses the reservation module for early gondola pass holders. So pass holders are allowed to pick a single day during the season that they will get early access to the gondola. They can reserve their day online. They can also cancel it in advance as long as it's within the allowed cancellation period. This is another use of how this can be helpful is the pass pack. So you think of a lesson pack where you buy a lesson up front and then you reserve your lessons throughout the season. That's a really interesting use case of this. And then also allowing pass holders to sign up for priority lift line. And there's just so many applications for this type of a feature. Another benefit of going with a reservation configuration is that pass holders can manage these reservations online themselves. They can cancel their reservation on the product detail page as long as it's outside of that cancellation window. And once they're in the cancellation window, say it's 24 hours in advance, they can call up, they won't see the option to cancel, but they can call up guest services and they'll be able to help them if they need to, because it's all managed with an RTP1 and easy to use on the resort staff side as well. Another perk of this is that it automates penalizing no-shows. So if a guest doesn't show up and scan for the day, it can be that day that they had reserved can be held back for a configurable period of time as a penalty day. This means you don't have to be pulling reports and contact guests about penalties manually. And we've heard from resorts that have had to do penalty systems for this past year that managing no-shows was a huge pain. This takes the hassle off of resorts because it's all automated. However, if you wanted to pull resorts and continue to force things manually to have stricter policies, that could also be done because it's all managed in the point of sale. Another creative application for this is enabling year-round fun. So as resorts are trying to weather climate change, one product that is growing in popularity is the year-round pass that Dan talked about earlier. The Wall Street Journal recently published an article about how climate change is impacting ski. And one of the suggestions they have for keeping revenues high despite potentially shorter seasons is to invest in year-round fun. So resorts that offer year-round passes or memberships are implementing the reservation system so that they can offer members or pass holders the option to reserve their included activities, such as indoor sessions, tubing, zip lines, etc. Resorts using reservation products to redeem these pass and member activities, they're doing this for the following reasons. First is that many of these activity products have a limited availability. So pass holders can't necessarily just show up and be guaranteed a spot. They need to reserve in advance, and this makes that possible. Second, resorts want to be able to limit reservation pass holders so that they can balance their books between pass holders and people who are paying full price. And this allows them to prepare inventory and prepare for both types of guests and balance between the two. And then finally, allowing pass holders or members to manage their own booking, it really cuts down on the call center. So they can manage their booking themselves, they can cancel their booking, and then if there are no-show, penalty can be handled automatically as well. Again, I really appreciate all of your time today joining our webinar, and I just want to, most of these ideas come from our resorts and just your incredible creativity. So, thank you for all that you do and just continuing to turn out great products and inspiring us on a daily basis. So I hope something that someone said today stuck with you and can be helpful for your next year's pass sales. Also, Yo, Jen, Dan, thank you so much for preparing and putting the time to really prepare thoughtful topics for today. It was really great. We are going to have Q&A time, and we're going to have a quick poll. So this poll, we're just hoping to understand what kind of training we can equip you with and what support you'll need during this upcoming season. So we'll launch that now, and then after that, we'll have time for Q&A. Does everyone see that?
I do.
Great. We'll give it another minute. I see about half the group has voted. And no pressure to vote if but it's fun to see. All right, it looks like numbers have kind of leveled out, so I'm going to end the poll and share the results. Great, so take a minute, look at the results, and we'll try to prepare some thoughtful trainings based on the responses and maybe do more in-depth webinars with trainings on topics as well. So without further ado, Danny, what questions do we have in the audience for our Q&A period?
Yeah, we've got one on reservations, Jenny. So for reservations, how do you track no-shows?
That's a great question. The nice thing about reservations is they're integrated in RTP and they use custom stored procedures, which can be customized. And so because the scan data is stored in RTP, we can read scan data and be able to tell whether someone who had a reservation for a day scanned or not. And if they scanned, the date rolls off. And if they didn't, it will continue. Now that's not required to be set up, it's an option. But if you wanted to track no-shows and enforce penalties, scan data can be used.
You're muted, Danny.
Well, I just asked the question, I'll ask it again. Can you set a cutoff window for reservation cancellations? For example, like 48 hours in advance?
Yes, you can do both a number of days and a time. So if you wanted to cut things out 2 days in advance at 1 p.m. prior to the reservation day, you could do that, or you could just set it to a number of days. So yes, you can define, and it's fully customizable per product, what your cancellation window is.
Awesome. We're going back to vouchers with this next question. So what's the recommended user flow for booking more than one voucher in a cart at a time with hidden URL or product pages?
Ooh, good one. I believe, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, that there is a button to redeem another voucher. Is there or not?
I think so the question is around like you have multi-use single vouchers. So I think it kind of comes back to the RTP setup and knowing what's the best user experience flow on Aspenware Commerce and how do you set things up in RTP so that you create the most optimal flow. So what I would say, if you're going to issue like a 4-pack of lessons rather than doing a one voucher with 4 uses, I will create 4 vouchers that they can have in their account and redeem independently, so that the flow is that they can check out with all of the vouchers in a single cart.
There was a clarification to the question. They can use separate voucher IDs.
Oh, yes. So separate voucher IDs are fully supported. So you would just retype your voucher within the banner or go back to the My Account section and click redeem. The redeem flow is so smooth. You click it and it takes you right to that product detail page. And I don't know, Yo, if you probably have more to add, but.
No, but it does make me think more about it, like having redeem another voucher button, I think is something that we should think about.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thanks, Becky.
Got another question out there. Is there a way to add something like seasonal lockers that would note that we should manually reach out to pass holders that we can give priority to previous locker holders?
Can you rephrase the question or restate it real quick?
You probably do like a renewal.
Yeah, so the question is adding something to seasonal lockers that would note that we should manually reach out to the pass holder so that we can give priority to previous locker holders.
Okay. I mean, there's a couple different options, like Jen mentioned renewal, which is, you could first launch your product via renewal to previous pass holders. Renewal products don't have to be access products, but they do use a component link of a prior access product. So yeah, you could launch your renewal products. You can launch lockers as a renewal product up front and then later roll it out to everyone else. Or if that wasn't desired, you could always have a prompt that requires the guest to enter like a pass, some kind of indicator that says that they were a pass holder last year, and that to give you a phone number so that you can call them if there's not availability or something like that, or set up inventory on them so that when you're sold out, you're sold out. But I think possibly a phased approach with having inventory may be kind of the best guest experience, but there's many different options there.
Peter, are you talking about like a flag, like that we're adding a flag to a customer or something like that? Is that what you're trying to get at if you want to type back into the chat? Like once somebody's purchased a locker for this year, that you add some type of flag to them so that you guys can then know that you need to reach out to them and say, hey, your hidden category is now live to purchase your locker for next year. Is that what you're looking for?
If you did, you could do customer roles and then run a report on the customer role.
Customer roles are interesting. That could work because they do work for, but they are supported for general program profiles on RTP, but you can technically use them in Seriousware as well. You just would create them to be granted upon purchase of a product within Aspenware Commerce. And because most of your passes are sold online, potentially that would work. So customer roles could also be a really interesting option.
I would just adding a bit in here. I think the best way to accomplish that for a Seriousware environment would be to use hidden categories. And then you can just reach out to your season pass holders that way. We have plenty of reports that we can build off so that we can audit after the fact, make sure that the correct people are buying those passes. But for those Seriousware implementations, I would recommend doing the hidden category in this case.
Don't be shy. I'm sure, and any questions that you have is probably curious. Someone else is curious of as well. So feel free to ask any questions. And obviously, our team is available to keep chatting via one-on-ones and other times we meet as well. All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, Danny, is there any more that popped in?
Yeah, we just got one that popped in. I can answer it really quickly. So this one's from Ian. How many are using Affirm for this past sale? I think at the moment we haven't released Affirm yet, but we do have at least one resort that is committed to using them for past sales at this point.
If one committed and then another committed to use later in the fall when they relaunch their pass sales.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we haven't really made a huge splash out there yet. So this is one of our first splashes. So if you are interested in Affirm, please chat with us. It's really not, it's a pretty straightforward setup. It does, require partnership with Affirm and conversations with them, but we have information to get the conversation going and get you information about Affirm, and then they would take it from there. Awesome. All right. Well, if there aren't any more questions, thank you again for your time. And our Aspenware team is here as you have your monthly calls. Feel free to bring questions up about implementing any of these ideas. Also, we have revised documentation, so check that out, which we've really been trying to get it fully ready for past sales so that all the stuff you'll need for past sales is in there. So ask any questions as you have clarifications on how to set things up, but start using that. It's great. And then I'll be sending out kind of a link from documentation to all the topics we discussed today so that you can kind of reference how to set things up based on what we talked about. And
lastly, Jenny, everyone should utilize our customer hub. I know our service team's been kind of plugging that into the monthly sync. So that's also a great resource for documentation, articles, things like that.
Definitely. That's a great call out, Jen. So yeah, I think we may try to set it based on responses and sort of trainings that are interesting to the group. We may try to have more webinars like this and have some in-depth training, some more high level topics like today. So stay tuned for that. And I guess without further ado, have a great day. And thank you again for joining.
Thanks, guys.